Welcome. Let's begin. We'll connect to breath, rooting our sit bones, our tailbone into the earth. So from that place of felt contact, feel for drawing breath from the ground beneath you in and through your core. In and through the crown of your head. We'll begin with alternate nostril breathing. The hold will be minimal. I'm starting with right hand. Thumb closes right nostril, keeping the nose aligned over the sternum. Inhale through the left side. Ring finger closes. Thumb lifts. Exhale out the right. Then inhale through the right. Thumb closes. Ring lifts. Exhale out the left. We'll call that one round. We'll do two more. I continue to work with the Ujjayi technique through this pranayama. Feel that the center of the head space remains over the center of the pelvic space. There's a tendency for both our head to drift forward toward the hand and pivot laterally toward the hand. Bring the hand to the face. Relax hands down when you're complete. Resume Ujjayi breath. We'll be working side bend through an embryo variation. So let's shift onto our hands and knees. It might be useful to have some props like blanket or block nearby. From hands and knees, I'll first walk my hands about 10 to 12 inches forward. And then 2, sending the sit bones back. Okay. Now, here, I check. If this feels a little bit much on my knees, I can cushion the knees. Or I can create a bit of altitude for my butt to be on. Okay. So once you've established your cushion, I'll talk us in once again that you can see it. Okay. So from hands and knees, I walk my hands forward about 10 or 12 inches. So now as I send my sit bones back, my butt will not touch my calves or heels. That was the whole point of stretching my hands out first. So if your butt is touching your heels, you'll just have to reset, walk the hands out a little further. Okay. So the reason for doing it this way is this lets my butt be higher than my shoulders, and it allows me to feel a degree of traction, where my butt, the weight of my butt, leans back. As the torso can experience just a subtle elongation, decompression move. Also, we'll hang out here a moment. This is a great place for the abdomen to start to soften. So in this position, when my butt can kind of be up, my abdomen can relax down. There's space. There's some space or lessened compression between my abdomen and my thighs. You can take the abdomen many breaths, even many months, many years, to discover that release, that quality of release and that quality of softening. So we'll allow for that. So now the side bend component. So as I walk my hands to the right, so my left hand is approximately in line with my right knee. Now I can arc my left side ribs to the left front corner of my mat. That seems a good direction. So as I'm breathing expansively and dynamically, I can feel a lot of that motion and the stretch and the sensation through the left side of the ribs. we'll switch sides. So walk the hands through center. And to the left. So my right hand is approximately aligned with my left knee, more or less. And I'm arcing my right side ribs to the front right corner of my mat. These are just approximations, just suggestions. And then inhaling, walking hands back centrally, coming back to hands and knees to exit. And now we'll set up dolphin. So bring elbows under shoulders, place hands out with toes curled under, inhaling into the side of the ribs, upper back. Exhale the knees off the ground. Depending entirely on your shoulder, how your shoulder feels. If you are accepting weight in one shoulder, we'll make a move. If not, just leave both shoulders on the, or both arms on the ground. And we'll start the weight shift into the left side. So we'll begin removing the right elbow. You can leave the hands, the fingertips, hovering near the ground, on the ground. And then another option is raising the left foot. So you can do both. You can just do the leg component. There you go. And this way you can always just play with dosing the fingertips off the ground. So it could just be a very gradual and careful play. Good. We'll change sides. We'll bring left foot down. We'll bring right arm down. And we'll begin the weight shift into the right side. You can lift the left elbow up. You can lift the left fingertips up. And here we'll take the right foot off the ground. We'll set the right foot down, hand and knees down. Take a couple rest breaths where the arms can simply relax and circulate that energy, that blood. To bring blood into the shoulders is to bring blood and circulation nearer to the head. So it's one of the cool things that we can do for our brain is work our arms. All right, lie on back. And we'll work some elbow to knee. This will be very brief. So once you're lying on back, your feet can be staged on the ground or we can pick them up. And then interlace the hands behind your head. Inhale into the low back. As you're inhaling, elevate the head, elevate the shoulders, and it's just a tiny amount. And now exhaling, feel your left armpit knitting more closely to the right hip. Reach the left leg outward. And feel for that band, that knitting, that gathering between the left armpit and the right hip. And then draw the low belly down. Inhale, feel that knitting soften. The softening of that front side brings us back to center. Hold, and now exhale, feel the right armpit knitting toward your left hip. Reach the right leg out. And holding that knitting, that gathering from right armpit to left hip. Sink the low belly down. Now as you're inhaling, feel that knitting soften and expand. So the right armpit expands away from the left hip just a little bit. And then exhaling, feel the left armpit knit toward the right hip. And there's a tone and there's a texture to what I'm calling knitting. Sink the low belly down. Okay, now hang on. Here's the release. And as we're inhaling, feel that left armpit soften and expand away from the right armpit, the right hip. The head, the shoulder blades, they're still up. And then exhale, feel the right armpit knit toward the left hip. Sink the low belly down. Inhaling, feel the right armpit expand away from the left hip. Head and shoulders are up. You do the next one on each side, please. Let the listening and the sensing extend through the softening. After the exhale, there's still something to sense, to listen. I find it fascinating how we seemingly, my observation, will bring our attention to the ways in which we'll engage contraction, create movement, perform enactments. And often our attention will splay or disperse when there's this softening, an expansion, a release of the effort. So if we were to understand this as a construction, it would behoove us to learn that as a construction of our doing, but also an unlearning. Like if we can construct, then we can deconstruct, reconstruct. And I think that vital to understanding ourselves as self-transforming beings. Not only the enactments, but also the release of those enactments, the reconfiguration of enactments, the remodeling, the reinstallation of a new way of seeing or feeling. The unlearning and the learning and the relearning. So that will be great. Turn onto a side. We'll press to standing. And we'll take a wide stance. Use some horse stance. I like horse. Okay. And we'll go hands on thighs for twisting horse stance. Inhaling into the ribs and the pelvis. Exhale, the right hand presses, which means we turn to our left. And inhale, unwind. Exhale, left hand press with twist. We'll turn to our right side. Inhale, unwind. When we stand, heel toe feet together. And do a little repeat from yesterday. If you need a wall, perfectly fine. Left hand to inner right knee. I'll turn a little bit. This is my right knee I've lifted up. This is my left hand pushing into the right knee. So I'm oriented off of my left foot position. So inhaling into the abdomen, into the low back. And this might start to get a little warm, the hip flexor, or you might feel this in some of the abdominals. If there isn't a reflexive change in the abdominal pressure, it might be because we're letting our left leg kind of sag down. You can press, you can feel that leg growing from the torso from the leg. There you go. So now, take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. I'm leaving my left palm there. I'm leaving my left palm there. And then when I feel quite assured, and that leg straightened out, I can reach that left hand behind me, away from my right. But use both hands on that leg. So the left hand to the knee. The right hand goes inside the foot. Keep working with that knee. This is what I do to almost every person in a class or in every class with this move. There's always some inner leg that can be brought online. So try that out. I know we just want to get the leg out there. I know. Yeah, use that palm. I'm not pressing on the knee joint. I'm pressing on the thigh muscle just above the knee joint. It's about getting both inner legs involved. Okay, then we'll release. We'll set that right foot down. Let's go other side. So I'm bringing my right palm to my left knee. This is entirely extra, but if your big toe bone has a little bit of growth, meaning it kind of grows in a little bit, or I'll take a moment and I'll place my big toe on the ground. I'll set my foot and then I'll do this. Only because I know there will be certain muscles that I'll activate if I manually place my toes. So there's certain muscles that we may not be able to get to when our without starting with the foot. And I like feeling the big toe on the ground for this. All right. So left hand, grab for the inside of the left foot. And I'm leaving my right palm there. And again, it's that knitting, it's that using those inner thighs to help me balance. And again, I'm going off the orientation of my right foot. So my left foot is moving out over the same direction as my right foot points. There you go. Just give it a moment more. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we'll release. We'll set that down. So when we stand at the top, one of the hopes is just that little move that we just did. That standing balancing twist will help us step back and forth from our lunges with greater control and ease of the legs. Let's try it. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Now as I'm about to step my left foot back, of course my weight transfers onto the right. Inhale, lift that left, step it back, exhaling, setting it down. And we'll take a little extra breath here. Inhale, the arms up. Place hands down, exhale, curl the back toes under. Step the right back, lower. We'll go belly to earth for the moment. Cobra, inhale. Exhale, lower, hands under chest, toes curled under. Downward dog. Push with those toe pads. Okay, now again, inhale, draw the left foot forward, raising the knee toward the chest, setting the right knee down. We'll take another breath here. Inhale, the arms up. Set hands down, exhale, right foot forward. Use those toe pads. Propel your right foot forward. Fold. Inhale, stand. Reach arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. And again, inhale. We'll draw the arms up. Exhale, fold. Okay, so as I prepare to move my right foot back, weight transfers left. Inhale. I'll step that right foot back. Exhaling, I'll set the right knee down. Taking a little extra breath. Inhale. Draw the arms up. Set hands down. Exhale. Curl the back toes under. Lift the left foot up. Step it back. Lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Downward dog. Use the toe pads. Curl them under. Palms push. Inhale the right knee toward the chest, setting the right foot between the hands. Bringing hands down, exhaling. We'll step the left foot forward. Fold. Inhale, stand, reach arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. Okay. I'm going to go through a bit more expeditiously. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left back lunge. Hands to ground. I just want you to feel that these are one-legged stances every time I bring my foot back or bring my foot forward. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Kind of sweet places to play with balance. Inhale the left foot forward. Hands to ground. Exhale the right foot forward. Propel. I'm standing on left leg. And inhale, stand, reach overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. And once again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Weight transfer into the right. Inhale the left foot back, lunge. Hands to ground, exhale. This is a left-legged stance as I send my right foot back. Lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Here's another one-legged stance as I remove my right foot from the ground. Inhale, draw the knee to the chest, set the foot between the hands, lunge. Hands to ground, exhale, step left foot forward, a one-legged stance, step, step, I'm on my right. Fold. Inhale, stand, reach arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. We'll go through two more on our own. Those of you working with hip flexor, abdomen, foot arch, considerations, start to play with the stepping forward, the stepping back. Feel them as one-legged stance. There's an enormous and a very cool degree of kind of spiraling from the foot all the way through the organs and the abdominal cavity, all the way into the shoulders. Play. I'll meet you back in 2 suns. There you go. There you go. Having that leg awareness, that foot awareness behind us is so good. Most of us have a really great sense of what's in front of us, even around us. And yes, we can develop that sense of behind us, beneath us, above us. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Okay. Now from this fold, I'm just going to sneak over, grab my block because I didn't set it up beforehand. You'll forgive me, yes? All right, now the monkey pose. Inhale, monkey. I'm lifting chest away from lap. Okay, we are going to move directly into half moon, but please allow me to talk us in. So I'm putting my right hand on the block. I'm beginning solely with the weight transfer. Once all or most of my weight is in my right foot, then I'll bring my left foot to hip height. Really active foot. Really active left foot. Once that left foot is elevated, I can engage that turn of the pelvis. I can bring that left hip over the right hip. Inhale, set that left foot down. Ooh, a good 4 feet behind our right foot. And we're just setting up for a extended warrior. So once I set it down, I'll wiggle it back. Warrior 2 stance. Now bring that right hand inside the right foot. Left arm overhead. If I push more predominantly through the forefoot, I can bias this area by the hip bone, the abdominal area in front of and near this hip bone. If I push predominantly through my heel, I lessen the degree that I might feel this left hip bone and abdominal area stretch. If I press through them, the forefoot and the heel equally, get a little of everything. Inhale, place the hands down for chaturanga. Exhaling, we'll step the right foot back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step or lightly jump feet forward, monkey. And right from this monkey, I'm going to grab my block, set it on my left side. Weight shift left. We are going directly into half moon. Get the weight shift first. And then with very active right foot, bring the right foot hip height. Stretching it away from the right pelvis. And we can always engage the buttock muscles to help turn or move the right hip bone to be more over the left hip bone. Here too, if I reach more through the forefoot, I can get more into the front line of my body. So kind of that front hip crease, in front of that hip bone area, all that ligamenture and muscle of the abdomen. If I want to reduce how much I'm feeling that, I can drive through the heel. It'll engage more my buttock. And here's that extended warrior. Inhale, we'll set that right foot down. The warrior two stance. You got to wriggle it out. And bring that left hand inside the left foot. Now I'm positioning my right foot, angling it, so that I can get both a nice pressure, nice contact through the forefoot, and a nice contact through the heel as I draw my right arm overhead. So now what my foot is doing affects what I'm feeling in my torso. How my foot contacts the ground allows me to improvise about what I'm feeling through my trunk. So it's not just a foot position. Feel the forefoot, feel the heel, play with some of one, some of the other. It's really astonishing how our foot can lead us quite directly into our organs, into our spine, into really anywhere in the body. And inhale, we'll bring that right hand down to the ground for chaturanga. Exhaling, step that left foot back. This is a one-legged stance. Lower. Inhale, upward dog. Please choose cobra if it's a better fit for you. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, inhale, step the right foot forward, interlacing the hands behind back as we set up for ostrich. So I'm taking a more generalized warrior one stance. So for my body, it's not warrior one, it's not warrior two, it's just a little bit in between. For my hips, that just gives my torso the best direction into which to fold. So, and on exhale, we'll fold, bringing the torso inside the right thigh. Good. Inhale, bring the hands down. Bring the hands to the ground. Now we're just doing an extra step. Before I step my right foot back to change sides, I'm just taking a moment to load my shin to my arm, just so I can play, I'll put this in quotes, stepping back out of crow. Okay. So before I step my right foot back, this is entirely optional. I'm going to raise my right foot, my shin's against my arm, and I step back. Chaturanga. Just a teeny little part I can practice there, so I will. Inhale, upward dog. Sometimes when we're coming out of ekapada or crow, the notion of stepping back seems a little bit monumental after those moments of flight. So here's that ostrich on the other side with that little step back play. Inhale the left foot forward, kind of a universal warrior stance. Interlace the hands. Exhaling, we'll hinge to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, bring the hands down, set them under shoulders. Yes, we are stepping back, and if you just want to step back, that's perfect. I'm going to plant my palms, shin against arm, and just for the sake of practice, my shoulders away from my ears. I pick up the left foot, I step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, step or lightly jump feet forward, monkey. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Inhale, bend knees. Reach arms up. And stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a pause. I am about to recommend 2 things that we can do. And you'll have to decide on your wall space or your back considerations. So, one of the things I really enjoy is varying poses so that sometimes my hand or my limb or my body is fixed to a surface, and then sometimes they're free of the surface. You have very different forms of feedback. It's anchored to something or kind of freestyling around like in an aquarium. Okay? So we've done a move like so. Let me turn away from you for a moment. My legs are in pyramid and my hands are doing like shower. So a tractioning move. This is option 1. So because we've done this, this may be the most easy to see, get, and enter. And now 2, I can bend my front knee, open up my back footing, wiggle it back, and set the left hand down. I'm putting it on a block. You may have longer limbs than I do. So this gives me, let me turn just a little bit. You won't see my hand on the wall, but okay. I really am making a modified, twisting, extended warrior. But let me start us, and I'll do a profile. Let's start us from wall, pyramid, hands on wall. So if you would, if you have a spot, you can join me like so. I've put my right foot forward and my left foot back, just like pyramid. And just like shower, I've brought my hands shoulder width, so my spine, my arms are parallel with the ground. I've got a block next to me. I hope you brought one. So this is option 1. If you're wanting to just be in a pose in a way that helps you explore softening the abdomen while your arms are overhead, this is a wonderful variation on that embryo we did earlier. Just remain here, enjoy softening the belly, enjoy feeling that untwisted traction through your spine. This is option 1. Option 2 is leave right foot where it is, bend right leg. Wiggle left foot back until you're in a warrior stance. Allow left hand to drop down to block. You now have an ultra secure way of moving into a modified twist, or a twisting extended warrior. Now, could you keep fiddling with this and make it twistier? Of course you could. You could get a little creative, and you could hook or slide your left hand to the outside of your right foot. And you still have that nice palm on wall for balance. Now, what I find myself doing is just micro adjusting my back foot so that I can feel the balance really coming from my foot. I'm noticing as I just change my back foot a little bit this way, a little bit that way, I feel much more supported or much less supported. Great. Inhale, unwind, and we'll just step up to change sides. So I use the wall. I lean into the wall to stand up. Okay. So we have a couple of options going on. Some will be better for individuals with back or abdominal considerations. So shower pyramid. We go left foot forward, right foot back. And we're sliding or hinging the torso down. Palms overhead. That's relative to my body. I say that a different way. My chest and my arms are parallel with the ground. This is option one. Pyramid, hands on wall. Right, option two is I bend the left knee. And I wiggle, 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 wiggle the right foot back. I drop the right arm down to the block. This is option 2A. And if I want to squiggle my right hand to the outside of my left foot, option 2B. I love these twists, but I also love very light and forgiving versions of twists. It's wonderful to have that extensibility, that tensility, that movability of the spine, but there's also times where we don't want to move it through our maximum capacity, tensility or range or... All right, so inhaling, push into the wall, unwind, step forward, and we'll lie back. We'll take a bit of a rest. Once you lie back, if it does well for you to kind of hug the knees in or to happy baby, grab the feet, hug the knees down, please do. I want your back to feel good going into the next part of your day. And as we lie, I want to just offer a little bit of an attunement exercise. And to what shall we attune but blood flow? So just by way of attuning to prana, to oxygenation, to blood, to whatever you associate with those fluid substances, subtle or anatomical. Blood, oxygenated blood, which, by the way, does feel different than venous blood. Oxygen deprived blood cells. They feel very, very different. And that's worth attuning to. But I just want you to get a sense of the oxygen enrichment or the pranic enrichment in your body. Where do you feel that? Where do you know that that is occurring? If we can attune to the prana and that oxygen-rich brilliance of the blood, when we can find that in our person and feel that in our person, we have a way of calibrating any choice, every choice, through our body, through felt sense, through our cellular knowing. We'll feel it. Oh, this was a really good decision. This amplifies my sense of life force. For some of you, it may feel warm, tingly. For some of you, things may just feel more open, or there might be a heat associated, a fullness. A substantive quality in the body. For me, oxygen has a very, very particular buzz. It's not like a head buzz, but it's like a head blood buzz. It's a very particular buzz. All right. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. A little press. Just seated. Namaste.